So the same thing happens with the nedivut. Yes, we look at the impulse, and that's yes, we look at the impulse, and the impulse basically determines or the intensity of the impulse and its direction will determine your midah. If you have a strong impulse in one direction, then you know that this is what you need, that needs to be worked on. If your strong impulse is to be balanced, yes, and to value and elaborate and think about, the and do whatever is proper, then you know that you're in the right, you're in the right, we have, the right balance.
Mm.
So he gives another example, nedivut, yeah, generosity. ממוצעת בין הכילות ובין הפיזור. Is the balance between being cheap, okay, and pizur, and spending right and left without any, for nothing. הגבורה, courage, ממוצעת בין המסירה לסכנות ובין רוח הלבב. Sits between taking crazy risks and being very scared. הסלסול is ego. ממוצע בין ההתנשאות ובין הנבלה. Right? It's between thinking that you're a big shot and thinking that you're a nobody. ופירוש סלסול, and the explanation of what סלסול means, הוא מי שמתכבד כראוי ואינו מתנבל בדבר. Somebody that is respectful. He's a respectful person. Yes, he's not gonna be like, he's not gonna belittle himself and do things that are disgraceful. Yes, but he's also not gonna impose his ego and his kavod on others.
Does this apply to tzedakah giving?
No, this is kavod. No, it has nothing to do with tzedakah.
Earlier, you said the one with the money, like if it's saying you want to.
Yes.
It applies to tzedakah also?
Correct. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, tzedakah, that doesn't mean that you have to give everything that you have in your pocket and be broke.
I'm saying, that's a problem if someone does
Yes.
that? Yeah.
Yes, it's a problem. My grandfather, alav shalom, used to tell me your yes is worthless until you can say no. It's only once you can say no that your yes has real value.
Beautiful.
You understand? If everybody asks you for anything and you always say yes, then your yes is not a real yes.
That's right.
Sometimes you have to learn to say no. And part of the no gives value to your yes. וההתנשאות, what is התנשאות? The ego. שיתכבד האדם יותר מן הראוי לו. Yes, he demands respect more than he really deserves. That's being egocentric, arrogant. והנבלה ידועה. And being very like mamash, being feeling like a nobody, low self-esteem. The person has such a low self-esteem that he's going to do things that are unacceptable. They're shameful actions. Like he has such a low respect, like he has such no respect about himself that he's ready to do anything that are very disgraceful. נחת, satisfaction, ממוצעת בין הקטרוג והקנטרנות. Right? It says, or one between the kitrug and the kantranut, right? ובין רכות הטבע. Kantranut means you're forcing, you're always intense, and you're pushing. you like kitrug, yes. You're like mekatreg, yes. Like a prosecute. You always enforce things. You force your ways. And Rakuta Teva, the one that has a soft nature that doesn't do enough effort. The
Then there's
Nahat, yes, is in between the two. מה שקוראים מולדה. Oh, מולדה is a behavior, it's like a being satisfied, right? So it's the molada is when you're like a deadbeat. והוא מי שהוא בלא דיבור ובלא מעשה לכבדות טבעו וקור מזגו. He doesn't talk, he doesn't do anything, like he's so cold inside that he's completely disconnected. והוא כנגד הקיטרוג, that's the opposite of the one that is like, you know, imposing and doing and forcing his ways. שיבוא מחידות טבעו וחום מזגו. So one has a very cold nature, and the other one has very hot temper. So to the anava, what is humility? ממוצעת בין הגאווה ובין שפלות הרוח, right? Humility sits between arrogance and egocentrism, and low self-esteem again, belittling yourself.
for example, Anavai, you need to have a little bit of both. In all the things we're talking about, you need to have a little bit of both.
That's exactly true. You need the balance. That's what you need. You need both of them so that you can create that balance, that hybrid.
Right.
That healthy hybrid.
Does this balance apply when it comes to doing kibbut avayim?
No, you're asking questions no,
No, right?
no,
Uh-huh.
no.
Interesting. You should always go out of your way.
ודאי.
Right? No question.
That's מאמרי חז"ל.
Right. Okay, makes sense.
ההסתפקות, being satisfied, ממוצעת בין אהבת הממון, says in between desiring money, ובין העצלות and laziness. וטוב לבב, having a good heart, ממוצע בין הנבלה, being between bad, mean, ויתרון טוב הלבב, being too good. Right? So now, if you pay attention, he shifted from an action to a trait and a deed. ומפני שאין למידות האלה שם ידוע בלשוננו, צריך לפרש ענייניהם ומה שרוצים בו הפילוסופים. Right? And because those do not have like defined terminologies, all right? So we have to tell you this is what it's between this trait is sitting between that trait, that opposite, and this opposite. ולב טוב קוראים מי שכל כוונתו להיטיב לבני אדם, בגופו ועצתו ובממונתו. So he has a good heart, desires to help people with his body, with his money, with his עצתו, with his advice, בכל יכולתו, as much as he can. בלתי שישיגהו נזק או ביזיון. Until what level? Until helping now hurts you. Once the left of becomes at the expense of and start hurting you, that's not left of anymore. So for example, if you want to do chesed and it's destroying your shalom bayim, that's not chesed. If you do chesed and you want to do something good and it ends up hurting your parnasa and that's not called chesed. Meaning it's within the parameters of what is called nezek atzmi. The moment it starts hurting you and deteriorating your efforts with yourself, that's already not called leftov.
David, if I wish I learned this when I was your age. If you make hishtadlut to follow what the Rav is saying in all of these characteristics, you'll have a much easier life. If not, you'll learn the hard way. But this is the easy way now. This is the correct.
We all wish that we were taught this when we were young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
בלתי שזה, והוא האמצעי. So you see, that's the boundary. That's the balance between not being nice and or being too nice.
I have 5 more minutes.
והנבל, the opposite, הוא הפך זה. והוא מי שאינו רוצה להועיל לבני אדם, the naval is the one that doesn't want to help anybody. אפילו במה שאין לו בו חיסרון, even if you're not losing anything. There's no טרחה, there's no נזק, it's not hurting you, it's not costing you. There's nothing. No, I don't want. I don't want. Selfishness. That's the קצה האחרון. That's the other extreme. ויתרון טוב לבב. And somebody that's too good. הוא שעושה דברים הנזכרים בלב טוב, is behaving like the left טוב. ואפילו אם ישיגהו בזה נזק גדול, even if it's gonna end up hurting him. Or ביזיון, it's gonna shame him. Or torach rav, or it's gonna request from him a tremendous effort. Or it's gonna cost him a lot. והוא הקצה הראשון. And that's the other extreme.
It's a very, very sensitive one, not to be fooled by your good heart.
That's right.
It's a very important one. Yeah.
That's right. So Be'ezrat Hashem, we're going to hold here. Then we have the savlanut.
Oh, now we have to have savlanut until Monday, Tuesday.
Patience.
Rabbi, thank you.
Yeah, because you told me 10, right?
Yeah.
I can go till 10:05 if it helps.
Okay, so let's just finish. Okay, והסבלנות, patience, ממוצע בין הכעס והיעדר הרגשת חרפה. Vavus. Patience is between anger and between the insensitivity of being hurt. ובושת פנים, and being and having how do you translate?
Shame.
A little bit of shame.
Face.
מבוצע בין עזות, it's between arrogance and ביישנות, and being completely ביישן. פירוש נראה לי מדברי רבותינו זיכרונם לברכה. Now he's coming to explain what the ביישן. שהביישן הוא אצלם מי שיש לו רוב בושת. So he has too much shame. ובושת פנים היא הממוצע. Have בושת פנים, when you have a little bit of shame, it's good. Like we say, לא ביישן, because on one hand, לא הביישן למד. Right? If you have too much shame, then you never learn. ולא אמרו אין בושת פנים למד. It doesn't say אין בושת פנים, it says ביישן. אמרו בושת פנים לגן עדן. You need בושת פנים. Because if you have a little bit of shame, that's what brings you to Gan Eden. They didn't say הביישן, שהביישן יש לו לגן עדן. No, the ביישן is not has too much of it. Is, right? לא הביישן למד. But if you have בושת פנים, a little bit of it, right? That's what brings you to Gan Eden. ולזה סידרתם כך, that's why he organized like this. לכן שאר המידות יצטרכו על כל פנים לשמות מונחים להם מהסכמה שיהיו על עניינים מובנים. It's like all the rest of the midot have terminologies that help you relate to each midah so that you can understand what the extremes are and what the healthy balance between those extremes requires. Tov.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom לכולם, בעזרת השם.